Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pony 4-in-1. This is number 242 for the week of October 21st, 2018. I'm Nemesis, and I am joined by Alca7raz here.
Hey.
Yes. Not a huge week for me this week. I had a fun drive, at least.
Oh.
I just went on an alternate route because of traffic and had a lot of fun on a road I haven't driven on in a while.
Yeah, you had a fun week. I've had a stressful week.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a fun week. It was a fun day.
You had a fun day. I just had a stressful week. Work.
Yeah. The other thing is now I'm all of a sudden now freaking out because I have to watch a bunch of animes before they're removed.
Oh no, you have to watch anime.
Yeah, it's just I want to watch it. There's a bunch that I want to watch, and like, oh crap, they might be removed by November 9th. So I have to, because Crunchyroll and Funimation are splitting, and I have to get them watched before that, because otherwise I'll have to resort to subscribing to another streaming service.
Yeah,
and that's not ideal.
More money.
So I'll have to try to get through those before the 9th.
I don't know. Maybe you should buy a Mega Millions ticket.
Yeah, it's going to help with the anime thing.
Well, it would. You could then just buy everything.
I'll just fund an anime.
$1.6 billion.
I'll fund an anime.
Yes.
With blackjack and hookers. Actually, I think there's an anime already like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I know there's a blackjack part for sure. It's on Netflix.
Pretty sure
anyway,
there's multiple.
We're not here to talk about anime, surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, we were actually here to talk about, cartoon horses.
Yes.
From the West.
Cartoon horse anime.
Yes. That's Yuma Musumi. That's totally different. But we're here to talk about, of course, the ponies and whatnot. We have the news. We have a comic, which it's a little late, but that's the male's fault.
Yeah.
And we have the season 8 overview thing we're doing, plus fan content at the end as usual. Yep. So we'll probably should go ahead and get started on that. If you want to follow along, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. It's spelled again LIBSYN. Links will be there for more details and whatnot. So, start with convention news. Everfree Northwest has announced Mark Atchison. Atchison, yes.
Was it Atchison or Atchison?
I think it's Atchison.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Voice of Tyrek will be attending his first convention appearance. And Ponyville Cidervest has announced an official charity album to, let's see, I'll have some of the guests, I believe musical guests on there, and I'm not sure where the charity, okay, GAB, what's GAB? Generations Against Bullying. And
Anti-Bully Ranger.
You can buy it digital now, or you can buy a physical CD at the convention itself.
Ciderfest is really going all out on the music front.
Mm.
They become like the music convention, basically, at this point. Now that Midwest Brony Fest isn't a thing anymore.
Right, that's right.
They've kind of taken that mantle.
The mantle.
The mantle. Yes, let's switch over to Halo now.
Oh, yeah. That's obvious.
Obvious.
Anyway, merchandise news. Best Gift Ever blind boxes are now available on Amazon. It's just, glittery, translucent blind boxes, essentially, again.
Glitter.
It's out there. They're in boxes now, so you can't check which one is which anymore.
Yep.
And Vampire Ponies are in the Game Loft game now. The quests and everything have just gone live. And the Kirin apparently coming soon because they accidentally updated it.
Oops.
With the Kirin stuff in there, although you can't use it, but the stuff's there.
Yep.
So oops on that one. But yeah, stuff's live. Vampire Ponies, particularly the main 6 vampire versions from the comics, if you remember those. And Hasbro may be laying off some employees, and they're also under investigation for possible securities fraud.
Oh boy.
Let's see, the layoffs, they said, about affected single-digit percentage of their 5,000 employees, so anywhere from 50 to 499 people will be laid off.
And there is some speculation on that one that it may be due to the whole Toys R Us thing.
Between The Last Jedi, The Last Knight, and a couple of things just underperforming.
Yeah. Not ponies, I don't think.
The toy things. Yeah. What happened with weird ones? Last Jedi was Rogue One toys bombed.
Oh.
And those just clogged shelves. So the Last Jedi toys just barely made it out to anywhere. So they didn't do very well because they weren't really on shelves.
And then the loss of Toys R Us didn't help things.
Yeah, and then the Solo movie as well. And the Toys R Us loss and the securities thing. Apparently, the particular issue is they may have underreported the issues they were facing, regarding Toys R Us in the months leading up to its bankruptcy and closure. Basically, they're being accused of lying.
Yeah, which is fraud.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
That's a wonderful thing. Heavy sarcasm quotes.
Mm-hmm. In comic news, though, Nightmare Knights number 4 has been revealed. The best laid plans of Pony's often go awry, and as the heist begins to fall apart, Luna's Knights are put to the ultimate test. With teammates turning in new revelations coming to light, will the Nightmare Knights ever be able to defeat Eris and return Luna's powers? And Friendship is Magic number 74 has also been revealed. Nerves abound when Zephyr Bree signs up for the All-Equestrian Main Styling Conference. Will he be able to prove to others and to himself that he belongs in the styling biz, or will his fear of failure get the better of him? Look, it's going to be your favorite issue.
No more Zephyr.
More Zephyr.
No.
What's that? More Zephyr?
No.
What's that? My Little Pony Zephyr is Magic?
Oh, God, no.
And Friendship is Magic news. It has been confirmed that Season 9 is a full 26-episode season, and we're getting 2 Equestria Girls specials in 2019. 2 44-minute specials.
Nice.
I mean, I believe we are all pretty certain on Season 9 being full 26, but it's been reconfirmed, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice to have it officially confirmed.
And Nicole DeBook has received the WGA West Animation Writing Award for, well, her general writing in many things, including Pony, I guess, but yeah, it's not really just Pony, so I don't think it's just that.
Yeah, it's just all of her work.
Writing credits: Postman Pat, Mike the Mustang, Tigger and Pooh in a musical too. My friend Tigger and Pooh, the 100-Acre Wood Haunt. Yeah, lots of Pooh, many of the Pooh stuff. Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Force and Destiny, Lego Elves, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers Robot in Disguise, Marvel Superhero Squad, Transformers Prime, Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Ben 10, Alien Force, Care Bears Adventures, and Care-a-Lot and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. One of some of the many things she's written for.
Many things, yes.
So yeah, it's
very
all
prolific.
of that.
Very prolific writer.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
And that is the news.
Yep.
So go ahead and move on to, well, the new-ish comic.
New-ish that we were hoping to do last week, but yeah.
That didn't happen.
Did not happen.
They took forever to send it.
Yep.
Go figure. But anyway, it's issue 1 of Nightmare Knights, the new series, probably mini-series, so I'm not sure what they're going to replace it with when this is over, which I'm pretty sure is, I think, a 5-issue or whatever. Let me try. This first one is written by Jeremy Whitley with art by Tony Fleece. Colored by Heather Breckel. It opens with, well, Luna doing the whole dream walking thing, looking around at dreams, and hey, she winds up in Stygian's dream, and there's the Pony of Shadows from the other world from that one comic. One was, Legends of Magic, actually, I think. Was it?
Legends of Equestria? So, yeah, I think it was the... Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the alternate
one with
version.
The pillars.
Yeah. Anyway, alternate Stygian, and oh no, something's wrong, and now apparently it's somehow contacting Stygian through his dreams, so now they're going to go through this other world, and it's a strange one, all right. Not what they're expecting. So I think that's more or less...
Without spoiling the big things.
This strange stuff happens.
Yes.
So, it's an interesting beginning.
It is. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's definitely exploring some, I guess, heavier themes to a degree. Somewhat heavier than we've seen like in the show and whatnot, but it's kind of odd in some ways. Like some of I think the reveals, like, what? That you're going with that? Oh, okay, sure, I guess.
I mean, it works, but it's yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, there's this big old, like, 1-page thing of, like, this bunch of villains have appeared at some point in the show or comics.
Yep. You notice that, if I remember correctly, there's actually 2 smoozes.
Yeah, I see original Smooze. I see original Smooze there.
The original Smooze and the new Smooze.
Yeah, there's new Smooze as well. So that's interesting. Also, Sunset's second comic appearance.
Yep.
Since non-Equestria Girls comics. Finally. Although it's just a bit cameo, but still, again. Want her to appear in more actual stories as a actual character.
Show my wife more.
She needs it.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by the setup on where they're going with it, with the villain and such like that. It is interesting, the villain and the choice of names.
Yeah.
Seen this name before.
Yeah, I've seen that name a lot because it's the one that's usually used by the fandom for their little creations.
Yes, although the creation's a little bit different than what they did here, but the name's the same. I'm intrigued and looking forward to.
It's an interesting beginning.
Where they go with
I think it's kind of a, what was it I was thinking of? There's something There's some weirdness, I think. I'm a little like wondering what some of this is going to go play out like through the rest of the series. Oh, well, there's that one thing in the beginning thing is like Luna.
Oh, a little bit of
Looking at Twilight's dream and then she's talking about how she could just stay here and watch Twilight all night. It's like, Luna. Luna.
Sounds a little fishy.
Fishy, you say.
The tuna.
Yeah.
The tuna shipping.
Most people call it Twi Luna for a reason.
I know, but tuna is just funny.
It's like people don't use Twinkie. They prefer Twi Pie. Because it doesn't sound like a food.
What's wrong with that?
Well, in this particular case, fish.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, it's interesting. I think, I don't know, it's kind of one of those, you gotta read this old one too, this old comic from a different series too, which is like you're kind of getting into that dangerous territory that a lot of Western comics do, which is you gotta read the stuff you're not really interested in to fully understand this.
It's an interesting trade-off. It's like, it's cool when you have references that have happened before and, like a continuity and story arcs, but you do have to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's, like you said, they're not, some of them aren't that great.
Yeah. This is like, as we were saying, some of these villains again, like, oh, look, there's that evil rarity.
Yep, Nightmarity.
No, not that one, just
there's the Nightmarity and the evil rarity.
Yeah, I saw Suri in there.
Yeah.
A bunch of them. That was the thing. So, yeah, for now, interesting. I'll want to see where it goes, and hopefully it doesn't falter like a lot of them seem to do anymore. Like, oh, hey, this is interesting. Oh, no, it's not anymore.
That's no longer interesting.
Yeah. So, that's the comic. So far, I guess it's a good start, so we'll see.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good start. Just, I want to recommend until we have the full thing. That's the problem. I don't want to go, yeah! Oh, wait, no, never mind. I'm sorry I made you waste $4. So, yeah, it's interesting, at least.
Yeah.
That's that. Although, we do have more discussion, of course, about, Season 8, because it mostly pretty much finished, essentially, unless you want to count Best Gift Ever as part of the season. I don't know.
Nah, that's separate.
Yeah,
it's separate. It's a special.
Yeah, it's a special, but some people might count it as Season 8. I don't know.
Nah.
We'll see what happens. It's like official release of Season 8, all of a sudden there's Best Gift Ever. What? But, Season 8's over. We're in hiatus again, sort of. There's a special next week.
Yeah.
But, Season 8's, and we got stuff to say about Season 8 still, even though we've talked about every single episode. Like usual, we want to talk about overall and whatnot, including, our favorites of the season. Listing those things. Lists are nice.
Yes.
Tyler would agree.
Lists
are good.
Yes.
Because I remember back when we talked, I guess the midpoint, the mid-season check-in, I guess.
Check-in.
Yeah. My thing was, I was worried because I was feeling this is like Season 6 Part 2. Because it was kind of mediocre, not particularly memorable. Just much like most of Season 6. And that was at the midpoint. It was like... And it did pick up, at least.
Yeah.
See, after initial stumble, it picked up quite a bit, as Season 8 did for the second half. So it's like all the good episodes are kind of loaded into the back half of the season, which is really weird to have that sort of thing, where it's like the first half is like largely forgettable and whatnot. And of course, the notable thing about the season was lots of new characters, the school, all that stuff.
Yeah, they introduced all of the school and the students.
Yeah, the 6 new characters and stuff, which again, I still echo a lot of the things I said before, which is it took way too long to really get the new characters going.
Yeah.
It's like the first half is just barely there, and then they finally start really doing stuff with them in the second half.
Yeah.
Way too long.
It did take too long to establish all of that.
The other thing was, again, the whole school really honestly feels forced, even after a whole season. The whole school
isn't that
idea.
because it kind of was?
Yeah, I mean, Hasbro did tell them
they
you got to do
make the school.
And it really does feel forced. It really just feels like a shit change for the sake of change.
Trying to keep things fresh.
Yeah, it really does feel like it's sometimes there's times where it feels like the show's starting to, as it stands with the what it's been. They're trying to keep it where it is, and doing so kind of is limiting them, and they're starting to struggle with what to do now with the characters we have. They don't, so now they have to introduce new characters so they can kind of tell adjusted versions of stories they've told before with the new characters.
Or just to give them new ways of new places to go.
So we got that weird feeling sometimes permeating. It's like but the other thing is we saw this. They seem to be kind of trying to do something new with the show as well, because we got more of the, I guess, continuity type stuff kind of popping in. Particularly, like stuff, this thing happens this episode, which really doesn't come into play again until like the finale or whatever.
Yeah, they've done stuff like that before, but I do think there was a little bit more here.
Yeah, like the artifacts or whatever that Twilight had.
Right.
That
repeatedly showed up and then became important later.
Well, they pretty much only showed up that one episode, and then they showed up in the finale again.
They showed up maybe one other time.
They might have shown up in the background, but not in an important manner. Stuff like that, or Cozy Glow being introduced with the CMC early on.
Yep.
And the I guess thing under the school, sort of.
It's the Tree of Harmony.
Yeah.
Has like residency in the basement. Yeah, then they say.
So on, so all this stuff. Yeah, so it's like it's interesting just because we do have new stuff they're trying to do, and we see that they're trying to more. It's almost, again, I think I said this during the finale talk, which is it kind of feels like they're kind of pushing past, or trying to push past it just being slice of life, but they can't really push past slice of life.
Yeah.
Possibly because of executive mandate or something.
That, and I mean, the entire show was built to be slice of life.
It was slice of life, but at this point, we're at the point.
Out of the mold does take a little bit of extra work.
Yeah. And I think at this point, we're at the point where you need to start changing stuff, or else it's going to become stale. I mean, it's 8 seasons in.
Yeah.
And well, probably one more season, but it's either, and there's often two choices at that point when you're like, we have pretty much done everything we can with the limits we have.
Yeah, the common one is to add new characters.
Yeah, that's the big one. They've done that. There's the other one, which is start shifting into a new genre, which has been done in other shows somewhat to varying degrees of success.
Yeah, and I think that's the tough part with shifting, is it's a lot easier just to add new characters than it is to actually shift.
But that doesn't always work out very well. That's the problem.
Neither does shifting genre.
The characters.
Exactly.
People want the characters they fell in love with, and when you start introducing new ones, it can breed resentment. I mean, granted, the thing is, with these characters, people kind of like them.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a huge amount of disdain for the new characters, and I've actually seen a lot of people really like the new characters.
Well, some of them. Particularly Yona is the big one.
Everyone really likes Yona.
But a lot of it is mostly just kind of apathy, I think, is a lot of it.
Yeah.
Particularly towards Sandbar.
Yeah, Sandbar doesn't have that because he's just a pony. He's not a new creature.
I think it's Yona and Smolder, and I guess probably Silverstream are probably the 3 popular ones.
Yeah.
Gallus is kind of like, I'm not seeing a huge amount of fan reaction to Gallus,
unless it's with Sandbar.
Yeah. Ocellus is kind of largely forgotten.
Yeah, I still see her. I do see it, but yeah, not as much as some of the others.
Yeah. So I think it's just pretty much those 3 are the ones who kind of are kind of the standouts. But yeah, I have my thing I complain of. There's just too many characters now. We got main 6, young 6, Starlight, Spike, Trixie, kind of. Trixie on that last one.
Yeah, well, you have the main 6, you have the student 6 or the young 6.
Yeah, it's 12.
And then you have Starlight's crew of 6.
That was a weird one too.
It is a weird one because it's
most
kind of nebulous.
those characters aren't really frequently recurring.
No, they were a little bit. I think last season they were, but not as much as.
Anyway, you have at least 14
group,
characters to sift through.
Yeah, like Thorax, Ember.
Those are all very much secondary characters. You don't appear very often, but you got the main 6, the young 6, that's 12, and then you got Spike and Starlight's 14 right there. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, some shows can do it fairly well, but it can be done having that many characters, but you've got to be able to handle it right. Yeah,
and I feel still like they're not quite handling it well. It's again. You just got too many things going on, not enough time to really help focus on all of them. So someone gets shafted at some point or another.
Yeah.
And particularly, again, the young six, I guess, or student, are large chunks of them didn't get really fleshed out for long periods of time. They're just kind of around.
Yeah, they were just kind of there.
And even when they started getting fleshed out, sometimes they'd focus on all 6 of them at once, and then in that case, like 3 of them get a large amount of development. The other 3 would just not.
Yeah.
And it's in the or like some of the main 6 just kind of are put to the back burner for a while. I think this one particularly, once again, Applejack.
Applejack always gets shafted.
Yeah, Fluttershy to a degree, I think. Fluttershy didn't really get a whole lot this season.
Yeah, I mean, she had at least one really big one.
And,
but
yeah, other than that, it's like when Fluttershy's been kind of,
yeah.
she's just there.
She
Even
got
that one episode, with the Kirin. She was, that was one of the things was, Fluttershy's just kind of there.
Yeah, Fluttershy had Fake It Till You Make It. That was her episode, but that was basically it.
Mm-hmm.
She was there for Sounds of Silence, but yeah, like you just mentioned, she was just there. Mm-hmm. Applejack was primarily the character on that one. Mm-hmm. Autumn Blaze was the character for that one. But
Applejack cut her episode, I guess. But beyond that, again, it's just something suffers. And Spike got a couple episodes, which is unusual.
Yeah. And they're actually not horrible.
Yeah, they're actually, so again, it's just, the problem is you have 14 characters, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And when you have 14 characters and you got 26 half-hour episodes, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And
unless you're good at doing ensemble ones, but that depends on your show structure, really.
It's essentially
the show's not really structured to give that level of development when dealing with ensembles. It just doesn't work that well.
And of course, you got people like me who far prefer you focus on the main 6.
Yeah. I would prefer more focus on the main 6 as well. But I also look at that and going, that's because I started with them.
Yeah.
They're the characters I know. They're the characters I love.
Well,
so of course I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
I do understand for those who came in later may not have as much of an attachment, and I also do understand that they've told a lot of stories with the main 6, and they might be running out.
That's part of the reason I prefer the genre shift versus just add more characters.
Yeah.
And again, it feels like they are kind of doing that a little bit, but they still have to say slice of life. That's why we're starting to see stuff like the setups for more long-term stories.
Yeah.
And we've even this season we even have a bit of a setup for next season now, which is not really done so far in this series. And that main villain captured at the end, but she's clearly still planning something and whatnot. And they left us with kind of a bit of an open-ended thing right there at the end.
Yeah.
Cozy Glow might still be a threat. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, especially when we put them both.
Because she's right next to Tyrek.
Right with Tyrek.
So that's something they haven't really done before with the show. So they are pushing it. Just, again, also, as I said on the finale talk, which was not always successfully.
Not always successfully. Yeah.
Yeah, the season's a big change and not always to the positive.
Yeah.
And it might be one of those things where it's changing just in the nick of time to end.
Yeah.
Because season 9, again, we know we're pretty certain
we're
season
like
9 is
90%
probably
certain.
And the end.
Yeah.
So we got one more season, and who knows how that's going to play out.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah,
because I would hate to end on a bad note.
Oh, God.
I would suck for everything.
Like we said.
Oh, God.
Q&A
no, don't end with a giant QA session. No. 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 I remember that discussion.
Yep.
Oh. I can see it in my head, too. It's just horrible.
It's bad. Overall, this season, though, it's as a quality thing, it's like, it's kind of weird because I almost view it as 2 separate seasons because the sheer quality difference between the first and second half, Sort of. It's like, I don't see a hard cut between the 2 halves, but I do kind of see first half does lean more to the lower end of the quality scale, but not always. It's... Yeah, I mean, there's like 1 or 2 standout, maybe like 1 standout in the first half, but still, it's like it really sometimes does feel, because like it almost feels like for the second half the whole thing just kind of shifted focus a little bit when we start really introducing all the elements that will play into the finale.
Yeah.
Whereas there was like only like one of those was introduced, or two of those I guess technically, in the first half. So that's what it is to me. It just almost feels like almost two separate 13 episode seasons, 8A and 8B.
Sort of, yeah.
So it's weird. So it's harder for me to judge this one compared to other seasons just because of that. It's almost like
it's kind of a mixed bag.
It's nowhere nice because of that. It's not like season 6 tier where again it didn't quite fall into that where I was worrying it was going to go.
Yeah,
based on, but it almost did.
Yeah, I think there's been better seasons, but this hasn't been a bad season.
No,
I would not say
it was
that.
weak first half though.
It was a bit weak on the first half, but I still think overall it was an enjoyable.
It
season.
saved itself in the second half.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is though, because of that first half is so weak. It's
like a Seahawks game.
Oh yeah, because that first half is so weak. I can't really say it's one of the better seasons.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of the upper echelons.
It's almost like because of that, it kind of bounces out to the
middle. It sits around in the middle, and it like depends on how you look at
probably the low end of the middle, honestly, if I'm going to be... Yeah, because, again, I have a couple problems with it throughout the season just because of new characters and stuff. And
yeah, it floats around the middle.
The
middle rated stuff gets really nebulous and floaty because it depends on what mood you're in, what kind of episode you're looking for. I still consider
it's like season 4 to be the best, and like season
4
6 would be one of the worst.
Yeah.
Season 3 is kind of down there. Season 3 I'm kind of
on there. It has some really... Season 3 was weird because it was like very... It wasn't like some really bad ones, some really good ones, and some in the middle. It was just like noticeably bad and noticeably good and not much in the middle, and it was really hard to grade.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also controversial in season 8.
Oh, yeah. Season 3 is just had a lot of things.
Season 8 has a couple little controversial bits here and there, just like fan base reacting and stuff. I mean, just generally, the school in general was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
When we first found out about the school thing, like, really? We're going to do that? Because people want to, let's see. They're running a school, plus, let's see, Twilight's a princess, Applejack's a farmer, all that stuff. They're all doing these things. Like, how do they have time to hang out? Friends?
That has always been kind of a lingering issue. It's like, what do they do for a living? How do they have time to do all of this? That's always been a lingering thing. It just gets worse.
40-hour days?
Yeah, they just write a letter to Celestia to keep the sun up for a little longer.
Yep, 40-hour day or something. I don't know.
Benefit of knowing Twilight.
School only a half day thing?
I guess.
I don't know. Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. This is one of those, it's a cartoon.
Don't think about it.
One of the things we can say about that. For the sake of enjoying the cartoon, we'll just ignore that aspect.
It's not important. We'll just ignore the problem.
It's not an important aspect, so we can ignore it.
Ignore the problem and hope it goes away.
Yes.
That's how I treat real life.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't always go well.
No, it usually never does.
Sometimes it does.
Every now and then, something resolves itself. But most of the time, no.
Yeah. It's kind of, again, it's in the middle, but on the weaker end of the middle.
Yeah.
For all overall in the seasons.
Yeah, seasons.
Probably should go ahead and, I guess, talk about the episode list.
Yeah, we'll start getting to our rankings.
Lists. Once again, as usual, we go from, I guess, worst to best.
Bottom to top.
And we count the two-parters as a single episode, so there's only going to be 24 entries, not 26.
Not 26. 24.
Or except that, like that last season where it's 25 entries. Like, what?
Yeah, where we didn't have a two-parter on the front of the end. Yeah.
We only had a two-parter for the end, but not the beginning.
Yeah.
That sounds strange. But anyway, so I guess we'll go ahead and start it off with you.
Well, you're going to make me start.
Yeah.
Because you want to end on number one.
That's how it always goes. The host gets to end it.
On the bottom, number 24, I have Matter of Principles.
Oh, yes. That's where I put mine, because that was
it's not Starlight's fault. Starlight did nothing wrong. It was Discord.
She did a little wrong, but not as bad.
No. It was just Discord was so out of character. It just
insufferably bad.
Discord's a good character, and I don't know what happened here. I like Discord.
I think they got caught up in let's make Discord funny. And didn't work, because he's just a huge jerk throughout it.
Yeah.
He's back to his early season 4 self.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's like he got reverted. He regressed back to an earlier version. And it was just, wait, what? Where'd this come from? This isn't right. He doesn't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just...
It was an insufferably out of character, and really frustrating just to watch it. And
yeah,
it's. I think one of the things I think the one bright moment was really like probably the whole "How you doing, fellow kids" scene.
Yeah, that was
pretty
funny.
much that was the one good bit.
There was funny jokes, but overall, that's just.
I think that was honestly the one good. I would say good bit out of the whole episode. Everything else, the jokes I felt were kind of either mediocre, or just simply didn't land.
It had one, like, I guess, important aspect where it was one of the
artifacts were introduced.
Where it talked about the artifact.
But that was the one thing that was important. That's always annoying when you have something important tied to something you don't really like.
You have to watch it because it's important, but it kind of
like Index.
It's like Magical Index.
You have to watch that to get Railgun, the good stuff.
Accelerator is just insufferable.
Yeah.
Telma's just boring.
Yeah, but anyway.
Accelerator is horrible. Anyway, we don't want to talk about anime. We could totally do a podcast on anime.
We could. Newbies to anime.
Now the seed has been planted. We'll see if it grows. So I guess since you had number 24 the same, I guess it's back to me for 23.
Yeah.
Non-compete clause.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
It's much the same reasoning, just not as bad.
Yeah, just not quite as egregious.
I think that in this one, it had more
funny parts.
Yeah, between like Dash just completely failing for building a shed, and Twilight chewing them both out, and Yona.
Yona's the savior to so many episodes.
Yona saved this episode from being completely terrible.
Completely save it,
but she saved it from being the bottom.
It was the bottom for the first half.
Yeah, but she saved it from being the bottom overall from this whole season.
Yeah,
just barely, because that was just not great.
I think Yona was a big one, but some of the other student interactions too were great.
Yeah, but it's just basically same reasons, just not as quite as bad.
Like Dash and AJ got regressed again.
Yeah, same. Yeah, then they're acting like jerks the whole time.
Yeah, it was just.
Except to each other, mostly to each other. And that's, I think, was what really kicks it over. Discord's a jerk to everyone else, including students and whatnot. They're jerks mostly to each other. And I guess the Student 6 were just kind of affected by proxy.
Yeah. And they weren't written by the same people.
No, they weren't.
Interestingly enough.
I recalled, Nicole DeBook actually wrote Matter of Principles.
Yep, Matter of Principles, Nicole DeBook.
Which surprised me when I found that out.
Yeah, that was like, oh.
Like, really?
Because she's got good writing track.
I mean, she just won an award.
Yeah, she just won an award, and she deserves the award. But this one was, I guess everyone's got one that doesn't work.
Like I said way back when I think about Megan McCarthy, I remember I said I generally like her episodes, but almost every writer has a fumble, and hers was Equestria Girls 1 was the fumble.
Well, that wasn't as bad of a fumble as some other ones. Yeah, non-compete clause was Kim Byer Johnson.
Yeah. I think she was new to the show.
Yep. And when someone's new, I guess I can understand the regression thing, because they haven't maybe caught.
I think that's what we were talking about when we talked about the episode. But yeah, it's just not great.
All right. So again, we matched on 23, so it's back to me. 22. All right. This is where I have my first, I guess, grouping split, because I have mine set into like groups that I find that are pretty similar in quality.
Yeah.
For 22, I have the parent map.
Wow. Yeah.
The parent map, and I think it was just like we said, pacing issues. It wasn't as interesting as would have hoped. It had good parts to it, obviously. There's some great jokes, and everyone
like
loves
Stellar Flare.
Everyone loves his mom. Oof. But it just felt kind of weird. Maybe some pacing issues.
Yeah, for me, number 22. That's where I put the mod couple.
The mod couple.
The one where Mod gets a boyfriend and he's insufferable.
Who's literally a stick in the mud.
Yeah. He's Sheldon. And
why'd you have to remind me?
Yeah.
The creator of None Pizza Left Beef, which just had an anniversary, was the writer for Young Sheldon.
I didn't remind you. You did.
You just reminded me of that.
Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, it's not much like that. And that was always the thing, was like, that's what's deciding whether or not you like this episode, was whether or not you like Big Bang Theory. And if you don't, like I don't, it comes across as an insufferable jerk and you don't like him, and it's just not fun to watch particularly. And so it's because it's not an established character being, regressed, it's not as bad as the other two, but it's still pretty far down there for me.
Yeah.
I just did not enjoy this episode much at all. All
right. And moving up one more, 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yakety Sax.
Same for here.
We both match on Yakety Sax.
Yeah, that was not fun.
It was.
Episode.
Yeah, I guess it was just, for me, the message that I was seeing, which I know is not the message that was intended. I understand this, but it's the one that came across with whole...
Pinky's happiness is the most important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just... no, you need to be able to set boundaries.
The problem was Pinky's no longer a sympathetic light once we show her actively destroying other people's lives with her insistence on playing this instrument badly. Once you do that, she's no longer sympathetic, and now it's like, why are you giving in to her?
Yeah. Yeah, it's... And that's just what did it for me. It's just everything else was fine, I guess, but that just really drew down the episode for me.
Yeah, it's just like, if they just change the situation just a little bit, it might have worked, but as it is, it doesn't work, and she's a bad player.
Go sit in the bad Pinky corner.
Yeah, bad Pinky corner.
Yeah, it's just you have to be able to set boundaries like that. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to support and encourage your friends, but you can't just let them do anything.
Don't play that in the middle of the night.
Yeah, there still has to be boundaries. If they're actively impairing other people's lives, now we have a problem. And
the problem is, in this episode, is they didn't really...
It pretty much said Pinky's more important.
Yeah, Pinky's happiness is far more important than anyone, like, say, Applejack's livelihood. Who cares? She's just a farmer.
Yeah.
Not great.
And I know that's not the way it was meant to come across. I think it was supposed to be just, encourage your friends, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very bad delivery, then.
Yeah. So, that was 21, and we matched on 21, so it's back to me.
20.
For number 20, and this is where we've jumped up another category of quality. And I have marks for effort.
Okay.
I have marks for effort.
Mark.
This was the introduction of Cozy Glow, if I remember correctly.
That's right. Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah, with the CMC and the introduction of Cozy Glow. And it was just kind of... it was all right.
Yeah. I get you.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was one really big problem. One really big problem was how Twilight acted.
That was it, yeah.
That was the big one. I was trying to remember, there was a big problem. I do have the notes there. It was how Twilight acted. As soon as that Twilight was just immediately, nope, CMC did something bad. And it didn't even question that at first. It was like, that doesn't sound like something Twilight would do.
No. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, and that one knocked it down a bit.
Yeah. For me, number 20, I put the parent map, so not much higher than you. But
yeah, not much.
Yeah, a large same problem. Pacing, it's the weird pacing, some just generally uninteresting stuff. Also, for me, made Starlight's backstory way worse inadvertently. Like, it took a bad backstory and made it worse. So there's that. So it loses a lot of points for all that stuff.
Try and remember what Starlight even did in that episode.
Basically, the whole thing was just simply she had a parent who was loving and caring, and somehow...
Parent map.
Yeah, the parent map.
You're talking about parent map.
Yeah.
I'm on marks for effort.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had parent map. I was just thinking something else. We jumped there.
I said number.
Yeah, parent map.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's just the fact she had a loving parent and still wound up like that. And it's like, it just makes it, it makes how bad her backstory stand out even more. So it's like,
Yeah, parent map did have one kind of cool thing also, other than,
Stellar Flare.
Stellar Flare. we already talked about Stellar Flare. Starlight's room. The goth stuff was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Called her poser.
It was still cool. And the guitar and all that stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, it's just it was just not a particularly interesting episode, and yeah.
Back to me for 19.
19.
Mod couple.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Basically, everything you just said, it just didn't affect me quite as bad. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
echo what you said.
the
It's
other
just
thing about
Mudbriar
Mod
was
Couple
just,
was for me. It's the other thing was it reminded me of some of my worst aspects that I've been trying to fix for years.
Oh,
There's some of that worst stuff, like the good old technically type thing.
oh yes.
Trying to stop doing
It's
that.
like I hate that, and what makes it worse is because I see myself doing it.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I
Yeah.
still do it. I mean, I tried to at least cut it down. If I'm gonna do it, try to do it nicer.
Yeah, it's like I want to say something, but I also know it's not gonna work quite well. But I still want, so it's like
Yeah, for me, number 19. That's where I put marks for effort.
Hey, we're all caught up then.
Yeah, pretty much the same stuff as you. It's not a particularly interesting episode. Plus, Twilight acting pretty out of character for that one scene, which is bizarre. Like, just Twilight immediately just assuming the CMC did super bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
don't like how that went.
Don't like how that went. It just doesn't seem like.
But it's also
Twilight
guys like at this point, it's also like Kosiko's pretty obvious.
Oh yeah, just her character design gave it away. If you've ever seen earlier works.
Yeah, you're too cute. What's up?
What was it? It was Cats Don't Dance.
Yep.
Trying to remember the character's name.
Darla Dimple.
Yeah, if you've seen that, you see Cozy. As first you see her go, oh, she's a problem. There's no question.
Yeah.
She's evil. But yeah. 18.
Mm-hmm.
What Lies Beneath. It is kind of low. And I did struggle with this one. I think for me it was just the oddness in the tests.
Yeah, some of those were weird.
It was just kind of...
Some of those didn't quite make sense.
Odd. Yeah, and I think that's just what did it for me. I don't know, it just felt odd and slightly disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. Like I said, the only thing, the ones that were bad, were maybe the bottom 4, the 2 groups that I had.
Yeah.
Anything above Yakety Sax, I think it's still, watchable at that point. So we're not in bad territory here, but it was just kind of odd.
Yeah. Let's see. For me, number 18, I put School Days. The premiere.
Days. Wow.
I put it way down.
I have School Days a lot higher.
Yeah. School Days for me, I think this is part of the reason why I was really negative about season 8 was just this episode really just like, you're introducing 6 new characters, this weird concept. I don't like the concept of the school thing. It just feels bad. It kind of self-defeating of, we need to open the school of friendship. Oh, by the way, they're going to learn friendship without the school, and the school's act. So it makes it so, like, guess what? Your whole thing is pointless. Everything about this is pointless. So it's just one of those weird things where just, it's self-defeating, and it didn't really work as a premiere. It didn't sell me on the new characters, a concept, or anything yet. So from that perspective, fails as a premiere.
I have it higher.
And it was just kind of largely forgettable, too.
It was a
large chunk of season 8's first half is just forgettable.
Yeah.
Except for stuff that, oddly enough, most of it kind of standing out for the wrong reasons.
Oh. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just put it way down there.
Yeah. School Days was a hard one for me to think about because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Moving on, 17?
Yep.
Okay, we're into another group now. We've jumped up in quality levels, according to me. So we're definitely getting more to enjoyable stuff. We're getting close to the middle. I have Father Knows Beast.
Okay.
The Spike, you're not my real dad.
Yeah.
And that basically sums the entire thing up. For me, it wasn't bad. I mean, again, we've jumped up in quality here. It wasn't bad, but it didn't really change much of anything. It was kind of fun to watch, but okay. It was all right. The best part was just the whole thing with Twilight and the relationship with Spike and solidifying that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just like, okay, I guess it's all right. That's all right.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. For me, number 17 is where I put Meltdown.
Meltdown.
The Spike Gets Wings.
So we both have a Spike episode.
Yeah,
here.
just different ones.
Just different ones.
Yes, for me, just Meltdown is kind of interesting, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's because a part of it is like it's a big change, but feels like a non-event. If that makes sense, it's supposed to be a big event, but it's not.
It's like, oh, it's this huge thing,
and it feels
Spike's
like just
getting
another
his
episode.
wings.
It just feels like another episode.
Okay,
it's like,
that's the thing.
So it's like, okay, and it's like it's just an all right episode.
Maybe we're just numb after Twilight got hers.
I think for me, it's just also it's Spike, so it's already right there. It doesn't have from the get go. It's not really in a good position for me. Because Spike is always kind of
needs more love. He does. He needs more love.
For me, Spike is just a character. When you have an episode focusing, I'm like, okay, let's see how it goes.
And that's why I said he needs more love, not just from the fandom, but from the writers. He needs better episodes to make him better.
Don't give him episodes.
He just needs
or
to be
just
better.
Don't give him episodes. That's a better solution, in my opinion.
I think Spike's got potential. They need to find it, but unfortunately, I think they've run out of time.
You need like 7 seasons just to find that potential.
I don't know. A good writing can do it in a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's just kind of a meh episode, which should have been bigger than it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, they lose the point for that.
16. Fake it till you make it. This is the Fluttershy episode.
Yeah.
With the really big glaring continuity issue.
Yeah.
Suddenly doesn't know how to sew.
Yep, that's
Wait,
weird.
We had 2 episodes specifically that talked about how she was good at it way back. What happened?
Was it 2?
I'm pretty sure it was 2.
I know it was 1 episode, then there's that one comic issue, but
May have been the comic issue. But yeah, there was a pretty big focus, pretty big important plot episode earlier that specifically said she was really good at sewing, and suddenly she's not. It's just
strange.
Wow, strange. Other than that, it was all right. There was nothing else wrong with it.
Yeah.
It was fun, but that continuity error just hurt it.
Yeah, for me, number 16, I put Father Knows Beast. Slightly higher. Yeah, I liked it a little bit more with Meltdown. I just liked the idea. I think the idea of it. Of course, bit was like, okay, finally confirming what the heck Spike and Twilight are to each other.
Like kind
of mostly confirming it. But I think one thing I really wish I kind of brought up, because it's something that occurred to me. I really wish that they went a little different, because it's obvious from the get-go that's not his dad.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I kind of wish they went for like, no, he is his dad. He's just that much of a deadbeat.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
A little more better. Just like, yeah, your dad is an awful person. Congratulations.
That would have been fairly deep.
Yeah, but
have one of those just because they're your family.
Yep.
Doesn't mean
like
you have to like them or be around them.
He's your father, but you ain't your daddy.
Yep. It's a good line. That's a good line.
So, yeah, I just think it
was
a
Mary
more
Poppins, right? That said that.
Yes, it was Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
But yeah, I think I felt that would have made a little bit of a stronger episode, and yeah, otherwise it's just it pretends to shake up the status quo, only just reveal nope, status quo is the same, remains the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is one again the better part just being.
It did also help establish, or not really establish, but more solidify Spike and Smolder's relationship. A little bit. I mean, it's already been kind of there, just a little bits here and there of them
hanging out.
Just hanging out and Spike learning from her.
Yeah, a bit.
15, I have Meltdown.
Okay.
So not that far away. And basically same things. It was fun, but it did have its weird little issues. I think the one that caught me off guard was like, I have wings now. I know how to fly perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I forgot about that part.
Right. And then later, I don't know how to fly perfectly.
Yeah, that was weird. Because I remember I was trying to defend it a little bit, and now it's like, yeah, that Father Knows Beast kind of blew that out of the water. I was like, well, so much my defense. I don't know.
Yep. But it was still fun. But yeah, it was just like, it feels like it's supposed to be this big thing, and it was all right, but it wasn't as big as it kind of felt like it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
For number 15, I put Fake It Till You Make It.
Wow.
Really close, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's continuity error is kind of a problem. I don't see it as big of a problem, but it's kind of a problem. I did enjoy some of bits, I guess, Fluttershy's personas there. Some of those were pretty fun, and just kind of, yeah. But overall, it's kind of like, yeah, it was all right. But I think, yeah, it was a decent episode for the first half season. But yeah, it's just kind of like, it's all right. But nothing particularly memorable. The only thing really sticks out is like, oh yeah, Flutter Goth, and oh yeah, that's what the heck happened to her sewing.
Yeah, Flutter Goth and the Valley Girl, and
yeah.
Moving on, number 14. This is where I've jumped up yet another category in quality, and we're actually, in quality wise, I would say above the halfway point for me personally here. I have for number 14, Friendship University.
Oh.
This is a weird one for me. I know you liked it a lot more than I did, and I can't exactly say why I didn't like it as much, but there was something, it just didn't grab me as much as I expected it to. I can see the good parts to it, but for some reason it didn't grab me. But it was still really enjoyable. The eye patch bit was great. It was plain and eye patch.
Yep.
There was a whole bunch of good things to it, but for some reason it just didn't grab me. I guess one thing is Flim and Flam have never just They're just Flim and Flam are just kind of meh for me, and I've never been a huge fan of the musical style that they get. And we did have a song, and it's just never been my thing. It's a good song. It's just not my thing, I guess.
I guess
it was enjoyable. It definitely was enjoyable. Like I said, that's why it's up as high as it is. But for some reason, it just didn't grab me.
Right.
And I don't know why. I just can't explain it.
For me, number 14, I put The End and Friend. Yeah, the Rarity and Dash episode, like, why are we friends?
Why are we friends?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I think part of it is just it didn't quite, I guess, answer the question that well. It just...
because we are, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, it's just inertia. Yeah, it's just, I guess... Yeah, they're just kind of learning, okay, just kind of finding a little tiny bit in common, sort of, but... Or just kind of, yeah, it's just the weird thing. And then, that's it for me is the whole, look, it's a plan to force them to be friends, I guess, again.
Well, it wasn't forcing them to be friends. It was forcing them to realize what made them friends in the first place.
Yeah. Twilight. Well, I'm not wrong. It's
You're
pretty
not
much Twilight
wrong, but I just had
all
to
together.
I had to stop myself from making a reference to Sheldon.
But it's an alright episode. It just it's Dash and stuff, and Rarity
saying
Sign.
it like a bad thing.
It is a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
It's just like that's alright episode. Just and I feel like it kind of felt a little I don't know.
Yeah.
In the end, it just kind of felt a little weird.
I think I know when you're struggling with words. I think I know. Where
it kind of just felt weird. Just kind of the ending was just kind of like, oh, I guess.
All right then. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Throw your hands up. I guess. All right. 13. I have School Days.
Anyway, yeah, quite a bit higher than that.
Yeah, like I said, quite a bit higher. It is a little bit weird for me because it's been a long time since I've actually went and watched it. But I think I just enjoyed the action, just how it flowed and how it worked a little bit more than you did. But I do acknowledge it did have issues. The introduction to the school and the students was kind of weird, but I guess I wasn't as against it at first. So, but there was some funny bits, except for Naysayer. God, I hate Naysayer.
Yeah, he's not great.
They redeemed him too. I remember we said in one of our later episodes, I hope they don't. He doesn't deserve it. And then they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, School Days, I still found it fairly enjoyable. There was enough funny bits, I guess, things throughout it that kept it up for me.
Yeah, for me, number 13 was Surf and or Turf.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one with the hippogriffs.
The
hippogriffs and the divorce parents,
the divorce
probably
episode.
the implied divorce parents and whatnot. I think this one was a pretty great episode actually, but it's kind of just one of those. I like it well enough, but I think again it just kind of suffers from kind of the general mediocrity of the first half of the season, and that's why it's the only real reason. It's like one of the best of the first half, but I think there's a lot of episodes in the second half that I just enjoyed better, and you're going to see this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of the second half episodes start really popping into my list. You notice, but if you look at my list, most of that stuff's been first half.
Yeah, well our bottoms are almost the same.
But yeah, it's it's a good episode and it has a good song in it and stuff. But I think I'm trying to remember what it was specifically. I think there's some weirdness. I think a couple bits where I'm like, okay, sure. I think particularly like, I remember part of it was a disappointment, I think, from there was that weird thing where it felt like they're going to do something weird with the hippogriff side, where it felt like they're going to do some weird kind of thing, and then they went a different direction with like the griffins and hippogriffs and how happy, how proud they are to be hippogriffs and whatnot. And I remember that. And I was like,
yeah,
and that
we're
one,
worried about that. It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
but...
it wound up being a nothing. So it kind of felt like a weird filler.
Yeah.
So I kind of heard it a bit, and just I think a couple weird things like, I don't know. Yeah, but it's just interesting just because it pulled off the whole divorce thing without really acknowledging it as divorce.
So on to number 12. I have the breakup breakdown.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the don't spy on your girlfriend. Don't have other people spy on your girlfriend.
Maybe trust your girlfriend a bit.
Yes, and trust them and communicate.
Communication
That's the big
is important.
one. Communication is important.
If something's concerning you, maybe you should talk to her about it.
Yes.
Rather than just letting it fester until it becomes this wild, insane thing that's in your head, and in your head only.
Also listen to Spike.
And don't listen to Discord.
Don't listen to Discord. Listen to Spike.
Well, sometimes listen to Spike.
Yeah.
Spike's a crapshoot. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's really wrong.
Yeah. All in all, I did actually find this episode enjoyable. Like I said, we're into all of these up are enjoyable episodes. But I guess it's just one of those, it was fairly, I guess, rote.
Mm-hmm.
It was predictable, but it was still fun and enjoyable. That's like we've said multiple times during this entire series. The show is predictable, but that's not a bad thing. It's not intended to not be predictable. It's not about the story. It's about the characters.
Right.
But it was still fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Although the whole Pie and Sweetie Belle thing kind of seemed like it went nowhere. It was interesting they had like the dual story that one just kind of didn't go very far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For me, number 12, I put What Lies Beneath. Yeah.
That's where that one was. I was like, we had one that was off somewhere. That's the one.
This is the one. What Lies Beneath, I just generally enjoyed it. Yes, it does have some weird pacing issues in it, but I like it just because it finally really fleshed out it's for the second time, I guess, at this point. The Student 6 were fleshed out some more. Got to know them a little bit more. The movie reference was nice. I really liked the bit with Smolder.
And the tea party.
Yep, the tea party. And my scary, accurate impression, apparently. That you, as you said, you did that too well.
Oh, that one.
It freaked you out, apparently.
Like, you did that way too well.
It was just fun. I kind of, a couple of things where it's like, wait, what? That doesn't really make sense. How does that apply? Like
Yona's afraid of spiders.
Yeah, and or Gallus just being trapped in a little tiny room. It's like, how does that
claustrophobic?
Yeah, but how's that apply to friendship?
I don't know.
Apparently, I think the idea was they're supposed
my issues
to. They get out by being super concerned with their friends or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like sure, I guess. It had a weird setup, but yeah, it was a fun thing. It was one of those kind of like, it's fun despite some weirdness.
Yona's the spider god.
Yep.
Spider-Man. 11. A rock hoof and a hard place.
Okay, same, I guess.
we matched on this one. Yeah. It was enjoyable, but I guess
themes.
It didn't really go as far as I wanted to see. I wanted to see more. It didn't establish anything new all that much. It did let us see where like the other pillars were doing. We've already seen what Star Swirl...
Very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. We already, I guess...
Star Swirl's wandering around.
Star Swirl, we know what he's doing apparently because of Friendship University. Yeah. And now we know what the rest of them are doing. So it was kind of nice to see them again. It was nice to see Rockhoof. But holy crap, that underlying... That's kind of deep.
Yeah,
I want to be frozen in stone.
Close as they can get.
Because I can't handle the world. It's like, holy crap.
That's the closest they can get to that without, actually going for it.
Yeah, without actually saying, euthanize me.
Yeah. Assisted suicide.
Yeah. So...
Yeah,
it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I like it, and it gets as high mostly because it kind of takes the weakest pillar and makes him an interesting character.
Yeah, it gives him some personality and some depth.
As I said way back when, I think literally like right before this episode came out, I was like, Rockhoof's not very interesting.
Now he is a bit more interesting.
Yeah, he's actually
also Yona again. Yona.
Yeah, you get a good bit with Yona and like looking up to him. And I was like, oh,
Aww.
that's nice. Yona giving him something, I guess, to look forward to. Because his whole thing was just, I don't know what to do in this modern
What am I
world.
supposed to do? You are now the storyteller and the keeper of the history.
Yeah, although I kind of wish, now I'm sitting here wishing I want a Somnambula episode. Thank you very much.
I really want a Somnambula episode. Although I would really like to see the show have Somnambula be a bit more like the comic. Because I really like the comic Somnambula. I really do like the comic Somnambula.
Yeah, it's a kind of interesting episode, but yeah, I think part of it's just it kind of feels like what about Luna? Luna would be kind of helpful here, and some of it's kind of weird, and it's like that's all you could think of for him. Oh, that stuff, nothing else. Oh, okay, sure.
There's a weird thing that I kept thinking about in the beginning of that episode. Where he's helping digging up his old town.
Yeah.
And they kind of make him leave because he's ruining things. So it's like, what would that feel like?
Yeah. Get out of here, you're ruining your stuff. But it's my stuff.
This is my hometown. This is my home. That would just be weird.
Yep.
Being away out of time for that long, coming back and just like it
get out of here, old
fossilized. And your home being fossils like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Number 10.
Yeah, top 10.
We're in the top 10. For number 10, I have End in Friend.
Oh, hey.
It's higher because it's Dash. Yeah, it's higher because it's
Dash.
It's Dash.
Dash.
I do have my biases, and that one I did have to think about it for a while though,
because it
was also rarity. It was also rarity, but like I always have to say, Rarity's not a bad character. She's a good character, just not my character. But yeah, like I said, it was a bit odd in places, but overall, I did find the interactions enjoyable, the scenes enjoyable, and it's the Dash. Dash is in the episode, so I have my implicit bias there as well. But otherwise, it was overall I find enjoyable.
Yeah, number 10. This is where I put Road to Friendship. It barely gets in the top 10. I'll just say that Trixie salvaged this episode. Again, somehow Trixie salvages an episode from being complete mess. She did it before. She did it again. And she did actually twice before she did it. Back in season 6. Go figure.
Of all the seasons.
No Second Prances and To Air and Back again. She salvaged those from being disasters.
Yep.
And she did it again here, I think. She's just really entertaining again. And I hope they do more of this kind of Trixie, not really annoying, frustrating to deal with Trixie.
Yeah.
It's like Trixie did nothing
really
wrong.
Trixie was really good in that episode.
Trixie did nothing wrong in this episode as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Starlight did all the wrong. She did.
Well, technically, yes, you're right.
Technically,
yes, you're right.
But yeah,
Number 9.
It was a lot of fun with that. The song was.
It was enjoyable. I just
remember realizing I don't remember much.
Yeah, I was about to say you were right. Then it is a bit forgettable. I do remember it was enjoyable.
The only thing for me was I remember is the 9 seasons reference thing they threw in. But other than that, it's Trixie's just fun because she's a dork and
It's a dork.
Throwing herself in front of that wagon.
Yes. I just lost the name of the movie. The reference with the bulldozer.
Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhikers, thank you. Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, because the whole episode is a reference to those old road trip episodes, the movies from what was Bing Crosby, was it? Yeah. I think it was Bing.
Yeah, it was a later movie.
No, I'm talking about the whole episode.
Yeah, the whole episode was different. I don't know about that. Up to number 9, I have Horseplay.
Okay.
It was fun. It was a fun episode. Seeing all of that go together. The notable points. Notable pros was the interactions between Twilight and Celestia, especially in the ending and all of that. And Twilight realizing can't just hold her to that kind of a pedestal. You need to talk to her as well, and tell her when things aren't going right. She's not Celestia is not an impervious being. Negatives though was the suddenly the Celestia not knowing what pretending is was just, what? How can you be, I mean, I can understand people are bad at acting, but how can you, someone who's in politics and has been for over 1,000 years, not know what pretending is, even? That's like, I would think half of your job is holding a face in front of your subjects when they're telling you something incredibly stupid. So yeah, that was just, it was good. It was a good episode, and it was fun. But the whole Celestia not knowing how to act or what acting even is was just weird and knocked it down a few notches.
And number 9 put Granny's Gone Wild.
Granny's Gone Wild.
Number 9. Yeah. One of the better of the first half, but yeah, it gets knocked down a bit because second half episodes pop in. But yeah, it was fun just because it was absurd, really. It's just the whole Granny's thing and Dash having to deal with them. And oh, hey, guess what? It's mostly Applejack just putting...
That's Applejack's fault.
Yeah, it's Applejack's fault that this is going bad for everybody involved. It's like, Applejack's like, yeah, you have to make sure they don't do it, make sure to take care of them. Don't let them die or...
Don't let them die. Jeez. Way to ruin our fun.
It's not fun unless there's a chance of danger for someone.
Yeah. Fall and break a hip.
It's just, it's a fun episode. This is I guess it loses a couple points against Dash. Its grannies are fun. Got kind of but implied to be Trixie's dad as one of the magicians. Yeah. It's just a fun little thing about old people in Vegas, I guess, or Pegasus.
Vegas.
Old people in Las Pegasus, and the kind of the expectations put on them by others and how they want to live their life and whatnot. Golden Horseshoe Girls.
Yep. Number 8, School Raise. The finale.
Yeah, number 8.
It was enjoyable. Like I said, I should also say we're up into another jump of quality here. I think the things that knocked it down from being even higher was some of the disjointed because of multiple storylines going on at once, and just kind of felt a little iffy on juggling those. And the fact that CMC did absolutely nothing. That one always just going to be, let's get the CMC to help. All right. And they did nothing. They got locked in a closet.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sandbar could have done it all without them. But yeah, otherwise it was enjoyable. Getting to see Tartarus and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Return of Tyrek. And the fact that they threw a filly in pony hell.
Apparently they don't see it as the equivalent of hell.
Apparently not. It's just like...
It's what one of the writers said. They don't really see it as the equivalent of hell, but it's literally named after...
It's literally Tartarus, and you have it guarded by the 3-headed dog. It is.
What else is it supposed to be?
Hell.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Number 8 is where I put the Hearthwarming Club.
Hearthwarming Club.
Yep. Good old Breakfast Club reference. That wins the points. It's just kind of, this is the first time we finally got to see the Student 6 really be fleshed out in the entire season, finally. That was really nice. It was kind of fun, the stories about the different ways they celebrate Hearthwarming or don't. The Griffin, Gallus, that got pretty heavy with Gallus. He's straight up an orphan.
Yep.
He's basically what the fandom wanted Scootaloo to be, I guess. Or
Oh.
some of the fandom wanted Scootaloo to be. Sandbar's story was funny is because it's so lame.
Sandbar is just... Everything about Sandbar is just laid back everything.
Yeah, and so it's that whole thing. It's like, just lock him in a room. It's because someone messed up the tree, and it was a fun episode, and it finally got them fleshed out. And just a couple little things, like I guess it's kind of part of it's kind of the weird setup. Because you ruined the tree. How dare you?
How dare
Yeah,
you?
it's like, it still needs to be punished, but I guess, but still, it's like, and also the ending was kind of like, oh, now everyone stays behind because
They all want to stay together.
they want to stay together. So yeah,
Because Gallus doesn't have anywhere to
who cares
go.
about
so
family? Yeah,
Make a new family.
yeah.
Number 7. I have Surf and or Turf. I enjoyed this episode. I did.
Okay, that's the one that's like, you're like, you put it down that low?
Yeah. I was a little surprised it was that far down for you, but I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very well done. Yeah, there would have been things I would have liked to see a little bit differently, but overall, I liked it. I was surprised that they even kind of went this way with the message.
Yeah, the whole don't feel like you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, you don't have to choose and stick with one. You do have the option to move between both.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Not everyone does.
Parents also can be bad about like using you as a bartering chip.
In those cases, that's a different story that needs to be told. Would be a different
He's lucky
story.
that both his parents seem to be genuinely nice people.
Yes. And they're not at odds with each other.
Yeah. They're kind of
it was an amicable split.
Yeah, he got lucky in that work front.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Number 7 is where I put the washouts.
Wow.
Number 7.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm having a good idea where you put that one, but I won't say anything. But yeah, it's the Scooter Dash, I guess.
Yeah.
It's Scootaloo and Dash. It's fun. I think.
And Lightning Dust.
Yeah, I think part of it. Yeah, Lightning Dust there finally. Lightning Dust returns and just pretty much like, I'm your rival.
Yep.
And I'll always be your rival. I'm your Vegeta to your Goku.
So does that mean Lightning Dust is going to come back on Dash's side eventually?
I don't know, maybe. That's up to them. But yeah, I think part of it was just kind of it's got a lot of cool stuff. It's got a couple little weird moments, but it's a generally pretty enjoyable episode. Just the kind of the whole thing about kind of like really establishing Scootaloo can't fly. Like she can't, and she's kind of come to terms with that and whatnot. Dash helping Dash kind of figure out, I guess, the kind of wanting to, various reasons for wanting Scootaloo to not do this washouts thing, both selfish and selfless, which is always weird.
Trying to juggle those.
What's her face? The Australian one.
I can't remember her name, but she was cool.
And she winked at the one mirror of the audience. Ooh, uh-oh. Also, the one scene, Lightning Dust Rainbow Dash.
Scootaloo.
No, just Scootaloo.
Yeah, that was the scene.
So yeah, it was a fun thing.
That was great.
Also, the uniforms remind me of Shigo. They do.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Yeah, it was a fun episode.
It was.
Just not my favorite, obviously, if it's at number 7.
Obviously, if you put it at number 7. Weird place for your favorite. Number 6, Road to Friendship.
You put a...
I liked this episode, okay? I liked this episode. And yes, Trixie was amazing in this episode and really did most of it. But I actually didn't mind Starlight either. I thought she was an acceptable character here. She did her job and she did it well. Of course, it was also being, the negative part of the episode, the one that caused the problem. Sort of. They both caused problems, but I guess she did the bigger one. But she did come to terms with it. When she realized her mistake, that was my biggest issue with what she did. It was the first thing that she apologized for. She went straight up, I'm sorry, it was not mine to sell. So she did actually realize what she did was wrong on her own, which I guess is an improvement on the past.
Finally.
So I really like this episode. It was a lot of fun for me.
Number 6 is where I put School Race.
School Race.
Mm-hmm. School Race, it got up this high. Again, it's one of those weird things that's like neither the premiere or the finale made it in the top 5, which is very unusual.
It is unusual.
But again, the thing for School Race is, yes, it's messy. There's a lot of little weird problems, like little questions pop up, like why is this? Why is that? So on and so forth. But I admire it for its ambition. It tried to do something bigger and new with the show that we really haven't seen before, and they tried.
It was ambitious, yes.
It tried. It didn't fully succeed, but it tried and got got a good chunk of it right, just not everything right. And yeah, the whole thing of like, we're making the little girl the villain. What of it? And I mean, yeah, it's kind of shocking to just straight up put her in hell and just straight up did that. And again, it ends with an open ended like she might still be a threat.
Come back.
She might still be a threat. I know some things about season 9, which is going to be this is probably going to lead to some really interesting stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's this again just some messiness, and too many stories kind of. Some of them suffered a little bit because you're trying to juggle between too many characters, and which is kind of a general, I think, now criticism of the show as it is now, which is too many characters you're focusing on. You need to kind of cut it down a bit.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're not going to do that.
Yeah. They're already in, so.
They already said, like, pretty much no one's going away.
Yeah.
And, like, well, someone needs to go away just for the sake of the show, because at this point you got too many.
Or they just need to figure out how better to handle multiple characters at a time. All right, up into the top 5?
Yep, top 5.
Okay. Number 5, I have The Mean Six. It still stayed up pretty high. I was thinking this may end up getting lower, but it ended up sticking up there pretty well just because it was the main 6 interacting again. And it just hit all the right nostalgia buttons, I guess, for me. With all their interactions together, it reminded me of the stuff I remember and liked from the early episodes when I first started. And the interactions, I think, were really good. I know it's a rather controversial episode nowadays. There are some people that really, really don't like this episode. But I think a lot of the issues people talk about this episode, like, oh, how could they not tell that it wasn't the right main 6? It's like, a lot of that's for the viewer's sake, not for the character's sake. So we know. And yeah. But I really did enjoy this episode. It does have one big negative problem now. I remember when we talked about it when it first came out, it was like, this feels like a 2-parter. It feels like we're going to see more about this and it's going to come up again. And it never did.
But it might.
It might in season 9, but having a...
Mike Vogel's been dropping a lot of implications that she's returning in season 9.
The weird thing is that you would end the mid-season, have a mid-season finale that is never resolved within season. It's just weird. So yeah, having this and then no resolution for another 13 episodes.
Yeah,
it's just really. So yeah, that one makes it a bit awkward, but it still gets up there. I mean, it's number 5.
Yeah, for me, number 5 was the breakdown.
Breakdown.
Yeah, I just really liked this one. It's just I just liked it. It was fun. It was just honestly just fun. Big Mac, just fleshing out Big Mac a little bit more and his relationship with Sugar Bell and whatnot, and discourse. Not jerkish, but just kind of pessimistic view. Yeah. On like romance and whatnot. It was just fun to watch and just kind of even Discord like at the end, like, yeah, okay, I'll help out. I'll help out a little bit.
And he helped. He did help.
Yeah, and doing it in secret and whatnot. And it was just funny. Just the kind of I had an A plot, B plot. The B plot was very heavily tied into the A plot and it kind of resolved in an odd way, but it was fun. I liked how did everything just kind of goofy, like oh, it was just fun.
And Spike's just off the wall random guess at what it was ended up being the correct thing.
Yeah.
Number 4? Mm-hmm. All right. And this is in my top chunk of 4. I split off 4 from 5.
Yeah.
So this is my top group. I have Hearthwarming Club for number 4. Yeah. Just because it was really enjoyable. And the whole Breakfast Club thing. I really did like the Breakfast Club. And the tie-in that this one felt like it just reminded me of it so much. It helped bring it up. Basically everything else like what you said, seeing the student 6 interact together. And this is one of those episodes, like I was been saying earlier, you can focus and build on multiple characters simultaneously in an episode. This is one that did it.
Yeah. So
this kind of writing really, really works.
For me, number 4, I put the Mean 6. Yeah, this is an episode which is, again, it does kind of leave us with a bit of weird cliffhanger type thing, which never really resolved, and it does have a bit of iffiness some here and there, but it's just a lot of the character interactions is just plain fun, including seeing the Mean 6 and whatnot. Just seeing them, the whole thing, just seeing weird versions of the main 6 kind of running around and whatnot. This is an episode, I can't remember if I said this back then, but this is an episode that's kind of a good example of something. I think this is something about, I think with Mike Vogel in particular. The story is kind of a mess, but the characters are on point. And this is kind of what it is. That story is literally, it really doesn't happen. It's just wandering around the woods, and that's pretty much the story. They wander around the woods.
Yep.
But that's the thing, is like, other than Hearthwarming Tale, most of his episodes have been, the story's kind of messy.
Yeah.
But the character interactions are really good, and that's kind of his strength, the character interactions. But
and the
Hearthwarming Tale is the only one I think the story works out because the framework was already there, because it's an adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing, is story is his weak point. Actual story is his weak point.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like it's a weird thing. Is like, it's an episode that's enjoyable despite kind of it's not actually technically good.
Yeah, and like we've said multiple times, or at least I've said multiple times, the show is a character-driven.
Yeah, it's character-driven, but
not as much story.
At least most of the time that the story is very least even if it's basic, it's still
as long as it still flows.
This
well
one
and
is like
there.
Practically not there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of but it's still, that's I think part of why that's part of why it's so controversial, is because the story's barely there.
That is probably why it's controversial.
But it's fun to watch, so it kind of, that's why it gets so high despite its actually pretty big flaw.
Yeah. Number 3, I have Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, Sounds of Silence.
That's where I put mine. Sounds of Silence is number 3.
Sounds of Silence. Yep. So it's
a really fun episode.
Applejack and Fluttershy did not really do much, especially Fluttershy didn't do anything, but Autumn Blaze just stole this episode. It was great. Oh, the song was amazing.
It was a fun song.
Just the character design, the Kirin are just cool. Yes, the tilting of the heads, they're adorable.
On the Kirin way, the next podcast will be nothing but how Kirin would do it.
Oh.
So,
Maud would fit so well.
An hour of silence.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun episode for the most part. Yeah, Applejack does a little bit. I mean, she's there with a little bit. She's there with Autumn Blaze, and Fluttershy's. That's the thing, is Fluttershy's barely there. She's only there basically to point out the squirrels. That's it.
The squirrel.
And to argue with Applejack a bit, just to show, hey, look, arguments don't have to end in fire.
Yes. Literally fire. Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a fun episode to watch, and yeah,
there's like only one real issue that I had with it, and that was the ending was a little bit anticlimactic.
Abrupt. It just kind of stopped.
It just kind of we fixed it.
We're done now.
Oh, okay.
The other thing was the ticket pony.
Oh yes, and the ticket pony, which is like that was hilarious, but you took too much time out of the rest of the episode.
Such is life.
We can't have everything, I guess.
Oh, but it was a lot of fun.
Number 2, Granny's Gone Wild.
Yeah, I know what you're. Yep, I figured. I knew you were.
Yep. And I'm just gonna basically echo everything I said in the first half roundup. This was an amazing episode, especially for Dash, especially being me and liking Dash. Dash did everything right. We could see the effect of her growth. It wasn't, her learning to grow here. This was seeing the realization of her growth of a character and how far she's come. And it was great. Woo. It was also a lot of fun with the Golden Girls and Vegas and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it hit all of the right buttons.
Boop. Yeah. For me, number 2 was Horseplay.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I put it number 1 last time. It's like I just really like the Twilight Celestia stuff. I know that the idiot ball thing with Celestia might.
But again, it pushed the right buttons for you. It
might be a bit of a hang up for some other people, but for me, it's not as big a huge deal, and it's just fun, getting Celestia finally really into her own without having to also drag Luna along with her, because it's like, oh, hey, Luna, no Celestia, let Celestia have her time in the spotlight, literally.
She had 1,000 years.
Well, not on this show. It's just fun watching her. It's just fun watching her just completely fail at acting, and the stuff with Twilight. We're seeing Twilight. Just kind of her struggle with her mentor, talking to her mentor figure there, like, about, you suck at this. You're really, really bad.
Yeah.
And after this, kind of also tying later into Yakety Sax was an interesting thing, but it's that, and the heartfelt talk between the two of them, and just kind of, I guess, really examining how Twilight sees Celestia and whatnot, and how Celestia wants their relationship to be, how they want the relationship to be versus how it is, and all that stuff. And lots of stuff that I'd really like is like they should be kind of more friends now, not just mentor-student. But this is finally getting into that, because it's been so long where Twilight just immediately just
Celestia's,
gives into whatever
princess.
Celestia wants.
Yeah.
So it's finally nice seeing that, and for also exploding like she does, and all that stuff, and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really nice. I really like it.
All right, number 1, as you can probably guess by now, it's the washouts. Like I said, with the last one, it pushed all the right buttons. This one pushed all the right buttons. It
To the extreme.
It just happened to have a few extra buttons to push along with it. It had Scootaloo.
To the extreme.
Yep, extreme button pushing. Good button pushing, not bad button pushing. But yeah, seeing Dash and
Chug
Scootaloo,
that
and that's really what's sold is the Dash Scootaloo interactions, and Dash, coming to terms with a lot of these things, and losing someone who idolizes her, and is like, oh crap. But also I have selfish reasons, but I also know they're selfish, but I also have things that aren't, and trying to just deal with those. And it was nice seeing that development, and I think they did it really, really well.
Also Spitfire.
Also Spitfire was there.
The Wing Bodies cast drinking through a straw.
Yep. Full wing hoof body cast drinking through a straw.
That was.
But yeah, just seeing the interactions and the development, and hitting some rather a couple deep points was just really well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my number 1 is I think you've probably figured out, but yeah, Friendship University.
F you.
Yeah. I like it. It's just it was I don't know. It's just Twilight got to be snarky again.
That was a good point. Is the return of Twilight snarkle.
It's the first real rarity Twilight episode. They interact on a regular basis, but they've never had their own focus as an episode. It's always either shared with someone else, or it's an ensemble or whatever, or they're just in the background doing something. But Rarity and Twilight really don't do a whole lot together, and it's nice to see them doing something. I actually did like the Flim and Flam song a lot. I actually generally like the songs in general.
Yeah, they're good songs. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, I just like them, and so this was a fun one. I like her just kind of arguing against them. It's like Star Swirl, and just like Star Swirl being there, and it's again the eye patch seems like, my name is Eye Patch. I wear an eye patch. I like that. It's just it just made me lose it. I don't know why.
You really think that disguise was gonna work?
No.
Yeah.
And then of course, playing them, conning the cons, and just
conning the con man.
It was just way too much fun. I just really liked it. I don't know what it was. Just kind of, again, even though it doesn't like hit a lot of the emotional stuff like say Horseplay does, but it's just a lot of fun. Really, I think this is the episode I had the most fun watching, just in general.
Yeah, and for some reason it just didn't grab me. I don't know why.
So I just
don't
really
know why.
like it. It's just. It probably doesn't help that Rare Twice kind of become my second favorite ship.
Yeah, you do kind of like that one a lot.
It's just kind of grown on me, and it's like, okay.
Rare Light.
Yeah, Rare Twi is the usual way. Yeah. Sunlight's still superior, though, but they're not going to get a lot of that in this show, unfortunately. If anything, ever. Well, anyway, that's the list.
That's the list. It's a big list.
Yeah, it's a big list. Lots of stuff just there, and I don't know what you guys think, but yeah. That's how I ordered mine. How I ordered his. Kind of obviously some obvious big differences,
We did have some big
surprise
differences this time.
Some surprise similarities, like randomly. Oh, this episode's the same spot. Weird.
Huh. Funny how that works.
Yeah, it's just how it is. We just have different tastes.
Everyone, different strokes for different folks.
So that's the discussion. We got to go ahead and move on after a long discussion to music and whatnot in the fan content. So take it away.
Stuff. Yes, take it away. I've got one I want to feature this week, and it is a Kirin Tale remix by Faulty.
Shiny apples sometimes come with worms.
This, because we had that episode at number 3. The song was absolutely amazing. So, a really good original source material, and Faulty's remix just was really well done. It's sort of progressive house, which is one of my favorite genres, and it worked really well. That's pretty much it. It's just good genre, good source material, good remix. It just worked together really well.
Yeah, I like the guitar bits in it, and there's a little acoustic guitar there that's kind of neat to hear, and it's also kind of intensely happy. Does that make sense? The thing is, this is not Faulty's fault, but sometimes it suffers from the sound effects.
The sound effects from the
original
so
version. It's just not much you can do about it, other than you could wait until we make a soundtrack version some point down the line. But
that's a crapshoot. So, and then you have to wait.
Mm-hmm. Would be nice though if you did a clean version later down.
Yeah, like
when
that comes out, or a clean version
without
later.
the sound effects in it. So and the music.
Yep, that's all the music.
Yep. So fanfics. First thing, update. Once again, Pony Horror Anthology updated with a new chapter, in which Octavia starts hearing a noise constantly, and kind of starts to upset her.
Yes.
To a degree. It's just a little bit disturbing.
A little bit creepy.
A little disturbing. And there's some other pony there for some reason. Suggesting something.
That there's something underneath the ringing noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which also sucks because I'm pretty sure I do actually have tinnitus.
Yeah, because
some slight
at first
tinnitus.
I was like, this is just tinnitus, isn't it?
It's just tinnitus. Oh, wait.
Well, it's kind of scary in the, oh god, my hearing's going, but yeah.
Especially for a musician.
Yeah.
But then, oh wait, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. So I definitely read that, especially towards the end where it starts really just getting descriptive about stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely read that one. And I got a new feature though. This one is called Hollow by Dustchu. Yes, his name's a little different right now because of Halloween. But it's it's really short. It's only about, it's just shy of 1,300 words.
Yeah.
And it's daring do and just kind of coming to some realizations, I guess, or not realizations, but just kind of thinking about things while at a convention about her life
book
and
signing,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of gets into some heavy stuff regarding how people think about themselves and whatnot.
Yep.
And I can't really say much more than that.
Yeah,
honestly,
it is tough to really talk about the details because it's so short, so you don't want to spoil things. But yeah, I like stories like this, the short ones where it's
short and introspective.
Yeah, the introspective stories. I really like introspective stories. And I think it was really well done.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's one of those, it definitely hits a couple times too. It's like, there's a couple points here and there like,
oof. Oof.
Yeah, so just pay attention to that sad tag.
Yes. Yes.
It says sad for a reason. It's not happy. So not much that I can say about it other than just check it out because it's a pretty good one.
Yep.
If you like being sad, I guess. But that's this episode, which is really long at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. We're usually not this long, but this is what happens. If you want to check out past and future episodes, you go to pony411.libsyn.com, again spelled Libsyn. If you want, to see all the episodes, subscribe to the RSS feed, and check out most of the links I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes. Because we're also on youtube.com/pony411. You can like, comment, subscribe there. Click the notification bell. Hope it actually works. Hope YouTube doesn't go down.
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah. All that stuff. You could go to stitcher.com, or there's iOS or Android apps, and search for Pony411. Subscribe there. There's also iTunes. Search for Pony411 on that, and subscribe, rate, review. Same with Google Play. play.google.com/music. You can check us out there. Pony411. Search for it. Subscribe. You can also check Ponyville Live. That's the YouTube version, ponyvillelive.com. We're there every week along with other shows and radio stations, including Ponyville FM, where we air Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're there along with a bunch of live DJs, awesome music, all that stuff throughout the day. So check them out whenever.
It's an awesome place.
Mm-hmm. And you can also contact us. You can do so via email, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, criticisms. What do you think of our list? What was your favorite episode of the season? What was your least favorite episode of the season? Were we completely off base about something and you're not happy that we said this thing's great and this one's bad or whatever? I don't know. Say things.
Things. That's what we just get email. It's just things.
You can also check us out, facebook.com/pony411. Like us there. The new episodes come out as, they are released on there. Whatnot. That's how it works. There's also Twitter. We're at pony411. That's our, where we usually say things. We, make random observations, dumb jokes. That's also happens to be a lot of our music and whatnot's likes for the episodes are on there because of the YouTube plugin, I guess. All that stuff. You can also check our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alca7raz and 7T and an underscore at the end. What have I been tweeting? Oh, right. I think it was, yeah. Oh, Forza Horizon stuff.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Horizon 4, which is a great game. And you've been...
We're just retweeting.
Retweeting ponies.
I've just been retweeting ponies.
As per usual.
Yeah, and then just the whole thing about Paul Allen.
Oh, yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Join us next week when we talk about Best Gift Ever. The Christmas special right before Halloween.
Yep.
The Christmas before the nightmare.
Wait a minute. That's not right.
Yeah, so join us then. But until then, though, please pony responsibly, guys. Bye.